Well, just the run defense, what you see from that, and what do you guys have to improve in that?
Yeah, there's a lot of good, some obviously not good. Some of that on me, forcing the issue a little bit too much, knowing what kind of game it was. Especially the 4th and 1. They got big personnels. We were ready to play it out of base defense, and I went and matched personnels. I thought at that point in the game we needed that 4th down stop. So there's not a lot of layering when you get big like that and play quote unquote goal line-ish defense. We had it fit up well. We just didn't get the guy on the ground. So there's definite things we need to fix. Some things up front, some technique issues, some alignment issues, and then obviously you got to get people on the ground when you hit them in the backfield. So a lot to fix. A lot that I could have done much differently. Like I said, forcing the issue on some of those runs in that middle of that second quarter. I thought our guys were playing really good up until that point, and I started forcing things just to try to keep that field position battle going. So things I can definitely do better, things that our players need to fix, and coaches need to coach better as well.
You hold them to under 300 yards total. I think they were 3 of 12 on 3rd down. I mean, a lot of the stats were good. I mean, obviously the passing yards were very low. So how do you overall look at it? Because I know there's too many rushing yards, but I mean, overall, you guys, probably looked at a lot of those stats and said you would have taken that before the game.
Yeah, I mean, globally, you hold, 300 yards is kind of measuring stick when you're talking about playing really good defense and really not. 17 points, but, we didn't win the game. We needed to do more. We needed to do better in the rush defense, like period, point blank. Things that we've got to get fixed. They came out and wanted to throw the ball early, didn't have a lot of success, and that had kind of been their MO. And, to be quite honest with you, they have had a lot of explosive shot plays throughout the year. So that was one thing we were worried about coming in, and it didn't come to fruition. But I don't know how I look at that to answer your question, BJ. We didn't win the game. We didn't do enough for our team to win the game.
What do you see from Amarian over the last 6 weeks? We just learned he's had been playing with an injury, and just how big of a loss is that for the defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a loss. Amarian's played really well this year, but I feel really good about the guys that have been behind him. Demetrius Freeney, Sherrod, some of those younger guys. I feel really good about them, and he's going to continue to tutor those guys. Amarian is a great presence in practice. He's got, and I know for all the things that negatively that people have seen during the game, there's a ton of positive people have seen too, but some of the personal fouls and those kind of things, that's not who Amarian is in practice. In a practice, he's very positive. He's got a lot of great juice. He helps those young guys, so he's going to continue to do that. And, obviously you never want to bring up an injury that a kid's dealing with, so that's public knowledge, especially when he's going to play through it. But proud of him the way, there's a lot of people that wanted to shut that down as soon as he got hurt, and he wanted to continue to play through as long as he could. So proud of him for that. But I know he's going to help get those young guys ready, and so I'm confident in those young guys that'll get in there.
Do you know Amarian's eligibility status right now? I think he's a 5th year.
If you want me to be real honest, I'm like the wrong guy to ask on all the eligibility stuff. So I don't, but I'm sure that'll be brought up in a staff meeting here in the very near future.
Getting enough that you need to from your linebackers right now?
No, we're not getting enough from anyone on the defense right now. So the answer is no, that we need more from the front, the linebackers, the DBs. It's not just one group, and everything goes hand in hand. So everybody needs to play a little better. Everybody needs to be a little bit more assignment sound. Everyone needs to tackle better. So I don't think it's one group or another. They all go hand in hand. If the D-line gets out of a gap, then the linebacker screwed up. And if the linebacker screwed up, then the DB screwed up. So we need to just get things fixed globally, and then every position group will play better, including the linebackers.
What challenges is it when you're facing an offense that can play 2 different quarterbacks?
Yeah, well, they're probably going to. I mean, it looks kind of like their MO. Are you talking about Colorado? Yeah. It looks like kind of their MO. They we're going back and forth, and I feel like they don't have one selected yet. They're going to kind of see who's got the hot hand in the game. Like last week, even though there were some mistakes made, I think that, he ended up with 250 yards throwing the ball. So you got to prepare for both. I think that they're both capable of running the system. So I don't think it's like some of these other games, in the past or whatever, where it's like, hey, this guy is going to come in and it's +1 runs. Like that's what he does. And this guy's going to sit in the pocket and throw it. I think these guys are both capable of running the whole show. I just think they've done a really good job here in the last couple of weeks of using some different personnel, some different players, putting them in different roles. And it's as we're watching it going through right now, it's going to be challenging to locate certain players in every formation.
Jeremiah Irby, say, move to field corner. Do you consider maybe Mickey outside of nickel, moving him to the traditional corner, and maybe someone else at nickel? Any of those?
Yeah, those are questions we talked about this morning early when we found out Amarian was probably going to be out for this game for sure. So my response to you and our staff was, let's put our plan together first. And then let's talk about who needs to be where, so we can kind of see, like, is this going to be a ton of man? Is this going to be a ton of zone? What are we going to do before we start moving those pieces around? Because I think I told you guys last year, one mistake in that San Jose game that I made was I moved Amarian into the slot without really evaluating what the game plan was going to do. And some of those things I asked him to do wasn't his forte. So I just want to get that game plan solidified, and then we'll talk about who needs to move where. But those are on the table.
It was a physical game, late game. You guys get home sometime after 6 a.m. What's the challenge of this turnaround, Erik?
I don't know. I think, these guys that are playing are pretty young yet, so they're used to staying up late and probably not having a lot of sleep on the weekend. But your body's always a little bit more worn down, so we got to do a good job of taking care of those guys. And Coach Danielson had a good plan for the coaches. We came in directly after the plane landed, so that wasn't fun, going all night without sleep. But I think that you go home and take a quote-unquote nap, then you're really in trouble. So we came in and got that game broke down, got a lot of our work done, and then we were able to go home a little earlier so we could get fully rested for today. So I think Coach has a good plan for us. He had a good plan for the student athletes, but there's always challenges, It's like coming back from the island a little bit.
So what time did you get out of here yesterday then?
Oh, man, I don't know. We got in here at 6:30. I'm always the one, not the last guy. I don't want to be like that. I'm that guy, but I'm usually one of the later guys. I don't know. I tried to make it home for dinner.
Like seem like an excuse or whatever, but you look at some of these guys. You mentioned like finish a couple plays in the backfield, and you look at some of the guys that might be in those positions, and we know they're kind of battling stuff. But like, how hard can it be to finish some of these plays right now? Or what's the key to it?
Yeah, it doesn't help, but everybody's hurt. I mean, across the country. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just November football. Like, everybody's hurt. You got to play through it. Is it harder to do some of the routine things that you would normally do? Probably, but that's what you got to do if you want to win games in November. So we've got to find a way to continue to fight through it, find a way to take care of these guys and play better football, period.
What did you see out of Jaden Mickey on Saturday? It seemed like he was flying around to the ball. He had a couple big pops in the game. What did you see out of him? Yeah,
Jaden played really well. He tackled well. He was, one of the guys that I thought he tackled very well. He broke on the ball. Got to clean up some things with him in the run fit too, just like everybody else. But I thought he played a really good football game. Jaden, he always brings great energy. He had great energy on the sideline. I thought he did a lot of nice things.
Season isn't obviously gone as well as people thought, but just for the seniors on defense, what can you say just about them as a whole and how they continue to battle and lead this group?
Yeah, I think the seniors, it's a special group, man. I'm proud of these guys. Like you said, it has not gone the way that any of them probably thought, definitely didn't want. But I love these kids, especially those seniors that have, those guys have all kind of been here other than a couple transfers. Those guys were all here when, we had the ups and downs a couple years ago, and they were here through really good, and they here through a season where it didn't go quite like they wanted it to, and they've never quit fighting. They've never been negative in any way. They've always tried to help these young guys, and they're just guys I like to be around off the field. Like, they're good football players, all those kind of things. That is what it is. If they weren't, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be starting for Boise State. But I like being around these guys off the field. So they're guys that I want my kids to be around. I want my wife to be around. So it's a special, special group, and it's going to be hard to watch these guys go. But at some point, football ends for all of us at some point.
With that said, I mean, kind of a common sense answer, but based on how the last home game went, I mean, just how badly do you want those seniors to kind of have a better feeling this week on the way out?
Oh, man, I want it really bad for those guys, which is, you never know what happens. There's a couple hard weeks left in this conference, so anything can happen. But this might be their last game on the blue, and I want nothing more for them to have a very, very positive outing and to walk off that thing with a win. And want it for the Boise State nation too, for all the fans that have paid money to watch us play, for all the ones that cheer for us for at home. I want those wins for all those people because we need that to finish this season strong at home.
Just how do you feel like he played last game, and just kind of the effort he puts forth? How much he's still a young guy. How much do you feel like he's kind of playing his way into being like the fabric or part of the fabric of the culture of this thing moving forward?
Yeah, Bowen played well last week. One, probably a mistake that I made, which didn't allow him to probably play as fast in some points as he wanted to, was he was playing Mike, he was playing Will, and I put him in at Sam Backer in base defense when they got big on that one drive. So he had a lot of stuff going on, and probably too much for any person to play 3 different positions. So I wish I wouldn't have done that to him, found somebody else to maybe play that Sam in the base so he could play a little faster at Will, and that probably would have helped him, but he still played really well.
I'm at that Mike spot. What does he bring when you put him there?
He's physical and he's twitchy. He's just got a lot of it's like anytime you bring somebody down from the 3rd level into the 2nd level, there's a lot of twitch that sometimes guys don't have that have played at the 2nd level their whole life because they're not used to that space. So if he has to walk out of the box, he's good. If he has to cover a back, it's really good. And then he's physical enough to go in there and play power and play zone schemes and those kind of things. So I think he's got a great combination of kind of, what the modern day linebacker has become. It's not the 6'3", 250-pound neck roll anymore. I think he's kind of more in that mold of that modern day linebacker.
You're 5th in America in passing yards allowed per game. Demario Warren, I got to work with this guy a few years. What have you noticed about this year, the coaching job he's done with your corners?
Yeah, to be real honest, he has stayed consistent. Demo is who he is. He does a really good job teaching those guys. I know last year there's a lot of discussion, and there's a lot of reasons for that, right? But he's done a great job with those guys. Those guys love him. They play really hard. They're doing them. I think he's done a really good job this year of emphasizing the finish on every single play, every single rep, whether it's indie, team, scout team period, whatever. But he's done a really good job emphasizing that finish, and I think he's done a really good job of making the techniques really sound but really simple for those guys so they can go out and execute and play fast.
Last one. Or not. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.